Well, good evening and hello again, fellow beer lovers. Beer Boss coming back at you today, only with a bit of a different look. Not exactly my go-to look, I'll tell you, but you know, last night I was talking with my son Chris, my 10-year-old, and I was tucking him in, and I was letting him know that I was thinking about shaving my beard down to my goatee today, because we all know that my wife didn't like the full beard. And, well, he asked me if I would please cut it down to this kind of a Fu Manchu look first, and maybe get some selfies before trimming it all the way down, because he thought that would be kind of cool. And I agreed with him that that would be kind of a neat thing to do. And then I decided, rather than just take some selfies, I would go ahead and do a beer review for the channel today, so that everybody else would be able to see what they think of this this particular fashion statement. Like I said, it's not really me, but you know, the things we do to amuse our kids, right? So anyway, I thought tonight we would go ahead and try out this Slow Elk Oatmeal Stout by Big Sky Brewing. Those are the makers of Moose Drool, famous for its name. But Slow Elk Oatmeal Stout, I'm looking forward to this because, you know, I do love me the occasional oatmeal stout, and as we pointed out in the past, in the recent weeks, we've done a couple of tastings of other oatmeal stouts. Usually what happens, first of all, what makes it an oatmeal stout is that they throw oatmeal, actual raw oats, into the mash during the brewing, and it adds a sweetness. Okay, so it's gonna be sweeter than other stouts usually, and does make for a delicious beer usually. So, as we've seen in most occasions, stout is nearly black. It's very, very dark brown. Very light vanilla colored head on it, and it's kind of hard in this light and as dark as it is to see the level of carbonation, but it does look like there's a fair amount of carbonation, fair degree of carbonation in there. How does it smell? It's very subtle. And now I'm starting to smell the malt. I'm smelling a little bit of a burnt smell. I'm not really smelling the licorice or molasses smells that we've talked about with other stouts and porters. All right, well, let's see what it tastes like. Very long finish. The initial notes that struck me along the lines of that burnt smell that I was noticing is a bit of a coffee flavor. The mouthfeel is complex. over the tongue, it's very smooth, but then in the back, uh, you feel the carbonation, and it's very pleasant. As you develop your palate and develop the ability to describe not only the taste but the aroma and the mouthfeel, um, I think you definitely come to enjoy the experience more. And just like something that I've added to my palate when eating over the last few years, by adding peppers to my food, I can see why in a lot of countries, whether it's in certain Latin American countries or certain Asian countries, where it's a mainstay to add hot peppers to virtually everything, and they even raise their little children, their toddlers, and maybe even their infants on stuff with peppers in it. I can see why. It's because when you're eating that stuff, again, if you can. Well, my recording was interrupted because I had a phone call coming in. So where I left off, I was saying that the spicy foods, if you can tolerate the presence of the hot peppers, the peppers actually the response, the physiological response that your body has, I think could be compared with the buzz that you get from alcohol. The top of your head might break into a little bit of a sweat, and of course you get tingling in your head, and so it's very interesting. Not to mention the flavors that are involved. Some like habanero is a bit sour, and so I don't really like that. I stay away from habanero. But I prefer crushed, dried, red hot chili peppers because you get the heat without the without any of that kind of nasty taste. Same thing with pepper sauces. I don't use Tabasco or most other Tabasco or most other liquid pepper sauces because the biggest ingredient in there is actually vinegar, which is kind of sour and why would I wouldn't want vinegar in my pepper sauce if I wouldn't normally want vinegar on my food, which is pretty much never. So when I'm seeking out pepper sauces, I pick out pepper sauces that don't contain vinegar. And then you can find some that actually have good flavor and don't have all that other stuff. Anyway, this is a bit of an aside, but so back to what I was saying about this drink. What's notable about it, first and foremost, is the coffee notes, and then secondly, the mouthfeel is very good. Let's see what else. Okay, with that one, I definitely got, like I said before, it's very complex. Okay, there I noticed the malt prominently, maybe a little bit of chocolate. I'll tell you what, it's not as sweet as I would have guessed because of the strong coffee, kind of the roasted coffee taste. But I'm guessing that if it weren't for the presence of the oatmeal in there, it would actually be much stronger. So there's definitely a sweet component. Well, this is I'm sure the first and last time that you'll see the Beer Boss looking like this. You know, this is just a nod to my 10-year-old and his fun nature. So, you know, I don't think I'm naturally a Fu Manchu kind of guy. You know, maybe if I had some tattoos, or Chris actually thought that it might look better with a mohawk. So, but I'm not going to do that this time around. All right, hey, fan mail. All right, show me the love, and I would love to have some guests, and I actually have some planned for the upcoming weeks and into the spring for sure. And you know, I think we'll actually be able to do some tastings down in Florida in early April or late March, and also we'll be able to do some tastings down in Cozumel and Grand Cayman. So I hope that you're looking forward to that. I certainly am. It's always nice to get down closer to the equator when there's still snow on the ground here in Minnesota. All right, until next time, cheers.